clever like that. I'm clever like that. Oh, okay. Well, fuck. You know what? What the hell? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I can use. I can use it on the phone. I'm a fucking idiot. Here we go. All right.
Well, it's like, okay. Oh no.
Yeah, you didn't see that. Fuck it. Monitors, not gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll have it here. I can see it.
Okay, you can see the comment?
Yeah.
Great. All right, we'll just use that. I think I just broke my phone stand. I sure did. I'm not even drunk yet. Completely broke it. Oh well. Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're live, but fuck it. We'll give it a few minutes for people to get in. And
We'll just beatbox the song.
oh, Paul, you can play the song. I sent that file to your tech app.
Oh, right there.
Looking at me.
Yeah, look at you. That's all I know. That's all I know.
After that, we stopped listening.
That's right. Let's see if it's loud enough for people to hear it. It's fine. Yeah, that is it, yeah. Might have to put it on your feet. Yeah, this is a vibe. I love this song.
Yeah, I had some guy on Fiverr make this for me a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for like $40.
Yeah.
I was like, I need an intro song for my podcast, and he's like, okay, here. 60 times. All right, Tay.
Yeah. Am I reading it or am I giving it to you to read?
I would like for you to read it. Why don't you do the honors today?
All right. Well, grab your glass, your mug, or your glass.
Hold on, just 1 second. Welcome, gentlemen, to a very special and a very unique version of Live with Jack. I am Jack. We are live. We're joined by friends from literally all over the world as we have all come together today to celebrate friendship, brotherhood, camaraderie, Thanksgiving, and more importantly than any of that, booze and pussy. So, if you would like to truly enjoy today's live stream, if you would like to take it to a transcendent level, to reach the culmination of all of civilization, the height of humanity, all you need to do is,
All right, all you got to do is grab your glass, your mug, or your flask, a chalice, a stein, or even a cask. Raise it high. Let's make a splash. It's now time for our libation bash. Toast the night and enjoy the mood. Together now we drink some booze. On your mark, let's not wait. It's cheers to the chaps. So don't be late. Go!
cheers.
Oh, woo.
Oh, gonna lick that up. Okay, so today we are joined. You guys all know Paul. Paul is, he just flew in from Norway yesterday, specifically for today's live stream. He flew all the way across the world so that he could join for your viewing and drinking pleasure. So, welcome, Paul. Some of you guys may know Taylor. Taylor is my good friend, and he's also the host over at the Gaming Shelf on YouTube. If you guys are into video games, especially RPGs, definitely check out his channel. That's how I found him. Next, we have Jake. Jake is the master student, the pupil who truly has surpassed all of the teaching to become the new master. And his lovely girlfriend, Yami, who I just met about 20 minutes ago. So I don't know anything about her, except that she's Yami and she's Korean. And from Ulsan, apparently.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious, why did you move to Seoul? Was it just for Jake? Just for travel?
Yeah, she decided that for Chuseok, the time to spend with your family, she said, I'm gonna go to Jake.
You know what? I approve.
I know, that's what I said.
That is a good girlfriend right there. That's a good girlfriend. Very nice. Yes. Yes. So cheers to Kenny.
Cheers to her.
Cheers.
Oh.
Too far, but it's okay.
So today's topic for the live stream is what's so fucking great about Korea? Why Korea? You know, all of us have moved here from different places, different backgrounds, different jobs, different amounts of life experience, everything else. What was it about Korea that drew us here, and why do we still so stubbornly and obstinately refuse to ever leave? What makes us stay? It's a good question. A lot of people don't know, and that's because you haven't yet come to Korea. But some of you guys who are watching this are currently in Korea, so you will know some of what we're talking about. But I would like you to also put in the comments below, what's your reason? Why did you come to Korea, and why are you staying if you are? Maybe you fucking hate it here because you're a party pooper who doesn't like to drink or have fun or enjoy any of the nice things in life. If that's the case, then sure, put that in the comments as well. But for those of you who are here and are enjoying it, tell us your reason in the comments below, and we'll be able to respond to those directly. Now, let's jump into our reasons. Why the hell are we here? Who wants to go first? Yeah.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? What's great about Korea?
It's because I'm here. There you go. I got you.
Honestly, I feel like that's all of our answers, right? We're like, no, we're just here for Jake. Just here for Jake.
Honestly.
You know, I thought I had reasons, and then I met Jake. I was like, yeah, that's all that matters.
Truth number one now.
It's 1 through 10, buddy. You are in the chart.
I'll take
You
it.
are
Here,
in the chart.
I'll go next. So, like, first reason I came here.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little bit of a long story. I'm going to cut it short, though.
Mhm.
I used to study Italian my entire life. And in my school, in university, they had another campus
I
in
see you
Italy.
speak Italian.
Yeah, a little bit of, right?
Yeah.
And so they had another campus in Italy. So I had to plan to go to Italy. That was like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the worst experience of my entire life that like the semester right before I left. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going abroad. I don't care where, but I'm not going to Italy. And my sister, she started listening to K-pop. She got super into BTS. And she's like, oh, I think Korea sounds fun. And I was like, it's literally the furthest place from home. Let's do it. I'm hopping right in.
Perfect.
And then I hopped in, and everything about here has felt like home.
Mm.
The people, the experience, the culture just feels like if I could dream of a society.
Yeah.
It kind of just feels like, oh, I fit right in here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
Fuck yeah, and fuck Italy.
Yes!
It's Korea. KK, how about you?
Yeah, I've got an interesting up and down relationship
do.
with Korea. So I came here the same year Jack did in 2009 originally, and I lived in Busan because I had a foreign exchange buddy from high school who's Korean, and he went to be in the military. And when he was getting out of the military is when I was graduating college. And I was like, oh, well, I hate my job out of college. Let's go have some fun for a year. I didn't know anything about Korea.
Yeah.
This was way before K-pop was popular worldwide or drama. Nobody knew anything about Korean culture back then. And I got there at the perfect time. I would consider myself a Korean hipster now. I was like, this is back in the day with like Girls' Generation and 2NE1. Nobody even knows who they are anymore. They're all old. They're like all our age now. But I loved it. I wish I would have stayed the whole time, but I didn't. But then I started a YouTube channel and I got big, and America was really expensive. And I was like, well, where do I want to live so I keep doing this? Like, oh, what about Korea? And so I put a blast out on my YouTube channel, and Jack's like, oh, let me tell you all about it. I'm like, oh, you live in Korea too. Perfect. Let's talk. So Jack, honestly, Jack is a big reason why I'm here. So
I'm so special. I feel honored, truly.
It's because of our love for JRPGs. That's it.
That is what brought us together.
That's right.
And it's the glue that holds all real relationships.
That's
right.
That's right.
Yeah. 2009 feels like an eternity.
Oh my God.
Right?
So long ago. And so much has changed about Korea, but it's also all the good things are still there. It's like it's affordable, good healthcare, people are friendly, like
women are hot.
Yes, of course.
Let's still drink the shit.
That's
right. That's right.
Did you know that Korea drinks more than any other country?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Like it's not even close. So they measure in terms of shots of liquor consumed per person per week. And second place is Russia, coming in at like 6.7 or something like that, which is quite a bit, right? Drinking 6 or 7 shots of liquor per week.
Like one a day, basically.
Yeah, right. That's quite a bit. Korea comes in like 13.2. We're like, it's not even close to the second place, right? No one's ever catching this. It's like Kenyan sprinters, but it's Korean drinkers. This is where the party happens.
Oh my gosh. So I used to play in this Korean American football league. And after every game, our coach would just like pass the soju, and I was like, Coach, I'm fucking dead. I don't want to drink soju right now. You nuts? Shut the fuck up. And then at halftime, people are like doing shots, smoking cigarettes. I'm like, what?
Shut up, nerd.
Yeah, I clearly need to get up to speed here.
Good old Americans in their puritanical ways.
That's right.
Paul, what brought you to Korea originally?
Originally, I came here for holidays, and the way like we decided to go here was actually just pretty much random. So me and my cousin were supposed to go to South Africa that year.
Yeah.
But due to circumstances, I couldn't travel. And we decided, like, if we have to go somewhere this year, or I think we have to go somewhere. Let's make it next year. And we were sitting there, okay, we want to go to a place where the culture is so fucking far from what we're used to up in Norway. And then it's like, okay, let's begin. We can go to Africa, but we're going there anyway. So let's go to Asia. Everyone in Norway has a very high stigmatism about Thailand. None of us want to go to India. Okay. And then we ended up with 4 countries originally. We can go to China.
Sure.
China, we need a visa to go to.
Yes.
So that's out of the question. And we're left with 3 countries. So those 3 countries were Mongolia, Japan, and Korea. And they're like, okay, everyone we know that has ever been in Asia is like, okay, Japan is the place you go to. So we're not going there.
Okay.
And then we're left with Korea and Mongolia. And
do you know how to ride a horse?
Yes, actually we do.
Well then.
So
Mongolia is still on the table.
Yes, Mongolia is still on the table. The thing that eventually came down to our decision is Mongolia, now Korea is still so close to America that maybe we will get by with English.
Yeah.
But with Mongolia, it's like, okay, there's a 10% chance we meet anyone in an entire 3 weeks that they're going to be speaking English at all.
Sure.
So let's try it. Let's go to Korea. We came out here. We're really surprised that no one speaks English anyway. Like, this is quite a while ago. So it's like, It was before the whole Korean wave and everything.
Right.
So like for us, it was like, okay, we came out here, had to explain stuff with like hand gestures. None of us had any idea how to eat with chopsticks.
Right. So you have to just walk around and be like,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's pretty much how it was. And then what made me come back here is that first trip I was here, I met a girl.
Yeah.
And she came out to Norway first, and then I came back here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really liked it here. And then I just kept coming back, and then eventually I moved here.
Yeah.
Lived here for 3 years, and then I went back to Norway.
Yeah.
And I'm like back and forth every few months.
Sure. Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. I understand. I love it here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I had kind of a similar situation to Taylor's, because graduated from college and oops, there's a huge fucking recession on. There are no jobs, and double oops, you majored in music performance, buddy. There are never going to be any jobs for you. And so I started checking online, and I had traveled to Japan a couple of years before, and I met some people there who were English teachers in Japan. I was like, well, that's a thing. Okay, could be an English teacher. I got offered a job in Korea and one in Taiwan. I knew nothing about either place. So I just flipped a coin. It landed Korea. And I just said, okay, cool. That's where I'm going. And never looked back. Like, I've been here since 2009. Straight road. And it's been awesome. So 14 years here. A long time. I've basically spent my entire adult life here. And the reasons why are so numerous. And every time that I go back to America to visit family, I'm always reminded of how much I love living here, right? Because I go back and like everything you want to do, it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what. You have to drive to get there. You have to. You just want to go to the store and get some chips, or like, oh, the party's running low on beer or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. That's a 30-minute round trip, right? You have to get out. You have to drive over to the place. Then you have to go in. You go through all the bullshit. And I mean, Korea is so convenient. You just hop down to the little shop and get anything you want. Or if you're lazy, you can actually just call like an errand boy, and they'll go do just whatever. Like if our party was running low on beer right now, we could pop onto our phone and just be like, "Hey, we need a guy to go down to the GS and bring us 10 beers." And then like, "Okay, cool, we'll be there in 10 minutes." And then like you pay for everything, but what? That's so convenient. It's so amazing and cheap. Everything is really affordable. Lady North and I live in a 3-bedroom home in Seoul, right? We're not like out on the outskirts or the countryside or anything, but a 3-bedroom apartment in Seoul. And we pay about $600 a month in rent, which is insane. You can't even
Impossible in America.
you can't even afford to be a homeless San Franciscan for that much money. You know, like that's insane. And I don't like I'm not sure how it's still so affordable, but it is. And like everything else, travel is ridiculously cheap. You can get anywhere in the city and the surrounding areas for about $1, right? The subway, buses, and they all like talk to each other. So I can go from here, where we are in Hongdae, out to no one, an hour and a half away, and it's like $1. Or if I want to take a taxi, it's like $30. And again, you can't get a taxi for $30 in America. Not an hour and a half long taxy ride.
Well, in Norway, they start at $200. It's about $20.
Oh, okay. I was about to say $200. Well, I'm moving to Norway to be a taxi driver,
right?
right? $200. I don't know how I am.
Well, if you do our taxi ride in Norway, you're probably looking at $100.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's fucking expensive.
I used to live in Gumi, a small town about 45 minutes outside of Daegu. And we would go into Daegu and we would party there all night and then take a taxi back 2-hour city, and it was, you know, like $20-30, right? For like an intercity taxi, which is insane.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's completely affordable.
The thing that really blew me away is, so when I graduated college and I had to take out college loans, as most Americans do.
Sure.
I graduated in 2008, and by the time I moved back in 2010, I paid my college loans off just by living in Korea, because I had no expenses basically. Because like most schools here will pay for your apartment, you don't need a car.
Yeah.
And everything else is so affordable. I was like, oh, and then I just had all this extra money. I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, right. On paper, it looks like teaching in Korea is not a great deal because you're like, we basically make like $24,000 a year, right? And so on paper, it looks awful. But then when you realize, like, oh, that's just like $24,000 a year flat. There are no expenses. You don't pay rent. You don't have car insurance. You don't have to pay hundreds of dollars a month for your health insurance, right? It's just like included in your
And
work.
by the way, the health insurance actually is decent, is good.
It works. It actually works, right? Which is insane.
On the flip side, I'm from a country where it's actually free. However, we like so.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing in this world is free. It's just free at point of contact.
Yeah.
Right. So when you go into the hospital, you don't pay anything, but you're paying for it literally every day of your life.
The other thing you have to think about is that if you work here as a school teacher, they pay for your housing, they pay for your heating, they pay for basically everything except your food and entertainment.
You're just lucky on that.
So-
a lot of places don't pay for the bills.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of places don't pay for bills. But even then, right? Like your power costs in Korea are stupidly low. Yeah.
What, 10,000?
Mainly because the apartments are small, but still, like, okay. Like I remember the first month I was here, the teacher was like, "Oh, your electricity bill is like 20,000 won."
Yeah.
Now, and he's like, "Is that okay?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah.
Like, 10 times that in America.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely. The energy costs here are crazy low, and
then the internet speed is like super fast.
Yes.
There's free public Wi-Fi, like literally everywhere.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, and it's all just ultra speed, right? You don't have to pay whatever it is in America for like fiber optics. What would that be, like $200 a month, maybe?
Something, yeah.
Yeah, like it would be a lot.
That's fucking expensive.
Yeah, it is. Because depending on where you are, if you want to actually get like high speed internet, not just like, oh, it's broadband, but like actual high speed internet in America, it's going to be very expensive.
Like I remember when we got it where I come from in Norway. So the deal was like the fiber optics itself was going to be like $50 a month.
Right.
However, we needed to get at least X amount of people in to actually make it.
Right.
Because, and then we had to do like a one-time cost of actually making the line.
Right. Building the infrastructure.
Yeah, no, it's just like $600 anyway.
Yeah.
And over the course of that's probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yes. But fun thing about America is they will charge you basically whatever the fuck they want. You know why? Because you don't have an option.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you want it, you have to pay for it.
It's crazy. The internet providers, they stay out of each other's way on purpose. Like we have this city, you have this city, and then they can charge whatever they want. Because like you said, there's no other option. It's nuts.
No competition, and so everything is just well.
And because no one is sharing, like they have a complete monopoly on the infrastructure and everything.
Bingo. Exactly right. It's a lot like the South Park episode where he wants to cancel his cable, and then the guy's like, "Oh, you want to cancel? Oh, tell me more." Yes. Oh, complain. Yes. Oh, I love it. Right? It's basically like that because
My favorite one for that is from Brooklyn Nine-Nine when they try to cancel the cable there.
what happened?
She ended up with like some extra package and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
Here's something that you can't put a dollar amount on, and then like I feel like as guys, it's not as big of a deal, but it's still like it's the safety thing.
Yeah.
Like you can literally go anywhere at any time of day, doesn't matter. I literally fell asleep on the beach once because I just couldn't figure out how to get back home.
Sure.
And I didn't get robbed. Nobody bothered me.
No.
And I was just fine. And I'm like,
but I've
Sounds like
heard
an
that sounded
yeah, right.
Right? Like this just sounds like me yesterday. Yesterday I was just like passed out on the street in front of the bar, and everyone's like, it'll be fine. Give him an hour. It'll be okay. Right? Nobody takes your shit. Nobody bothers you. People don't kick you. They don't spit on you. They don't take your stuff. Right? It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
But I've heard that can be a very different experience here for, especially for females.
Well, yeah. I mean, I imagine
Yeah.
so.
But we
Right?
have one here. We get
Yeah. I mean, like you wouldn't feel safe sleeping on the street, right?
Yeah.
Of course, right? Of course, right? But that's like everywhere, right? That's not a Korea thing. That's just like obviously sleeping on the street generally considered not a great idea. Generally, however, if you're a dude and you do it, you're probably fine.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of it. I mean, yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some crazy people, but
Yeah,
it's the minority. for sure.
yeah, it really is the minority. It really is the minority. So yeah, there's functionally no crime, at least not as Americans would think about it. Most of the crime here is, well, most of the crime here is white collar crime, like embezzlement or something like that, or just like weird bank fraud, things like that, phishing. So essentially financial crimes, or just drunk people fighting, which isn't really a crime. Yeah, like it technically is, but isn't really. Like it's not something that you worry about unless you spend too much time with me. And
If you double up
for fuck's sake,
country with shots, it's just, we're just getting drunk. It's
yeah, it's fine. And sometimes when people get drunk, they fight. I'm like, it's okay. Look, at least in Texas, we were totally okay with it, right? It's just like, look, you can't fight in the bar, but you go outside, you take a couple swings at each other, and then whoever won, yes, whoever won, you help the other guy up, and then he has to buy you a beer. It's just kind of the thing, right? It happens. It happens. Sometimes guys just fight. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think looking at like the first time seeing the police here versus like America is very different, right? When you're in America, it's like, all right, they're in charge. If I don't do something right, they might just take something out.
Yeah,
Like it's not great. Here, it's like, all right, that dude is like dead on the ground,
Yeah.
and he is like the older brother that came in and was like, again, really? All right, get in the car. Oh, you're not going to the station at all. Where's your house?
Yeah.
I'll be your taxi driver.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're just the bro that wants to help you out.
I like them.
Yeah.
I like them.
Obviously, don't rely on it, but like,
Yeah, you just said, you like the police.
Yeah.
That would be an insane thing to say in America.
yeah.
I've actually had the opposite experience here.
Really?
Have they been dicks to you?
Yeah. Every single fucking time.
Now, was that during COVID? Because during COVID,
Yeah, during COVID.
the police were absolute cunts, and I fought with them all the time.
I've had so there was this police officer that basically he shoved me,
Yeah. Whoa.
and his superior
Uh-huh.
just like ran over, and you get into the car to the other officer, like,
Yeah.
you're done for today.
Yeah.
We're not doing this.
Yeah. So like I've had that experience. I've had run-ins with the law where it's like anywhere in the world that would just be like, yeah, what the fuck? They would just laugh at you.
Yeah.
Where I've actually ended up getting probation.
Sure.
So it's like, yeah, you can say like it's a very safe place, and it is, but it also has its cost. So there is definitely stupid shit you can get arrested for here that you wouldn't get arrested for anywhere in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like weed, marijuana.
Yeah.
There's one thing if you're in America.
That's a big thing that
It's like cocaine here. Like
Yeah.
they're like, all right, you did weed,
yeah.
lock them up, get them out of here. It's like America, oh, it's legal. Yeah.
I ended up with probation for doing this.
Really?
True. That's true.
To a police
But
officer?
that wasn't because of the police. That was because the dude was a cunt.
Yeah.
That dude was just a litigious asshole.
Yeah.
We don't like, yes, there are assholes. There are assholes everywhere. Welcome to humanity. Right. But yeah.
That's my
Oh,
point is-
the light is here. It's this second one on the right. Yeah. That one. Okay. Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, as long as the light.
Yeah, the mirror light lets you know if the bathroom light is on. Yeah, like that guy was a dick.
Yeah, like if someone had shown that to some like law enforcement officer anywhere in the world, they would have just laughed at it.
So here's a fun fact for you. One of the reasons for that case even happened is because Korea has legal police accountability.
Mm.
So if I report a crime to the police and then I feel like they did not investigate it thoroughly enough or pursue it far enough, I can actually sue that individual officer for not having done their job right. And so because of that, which first of all, I think is a great rule, they're like, countries should have this. Like police accountability should be an important thing.
I agree with that part.
But yeah, but so because of that, anytime something is reported, no matter how fucking stupid it is, they have to pursue it completely and document the whole process.
That's not the issue. Like I think it comes down to like the weird self-defense laws that are here.
Oh my god, the self-defense laws here are stupid.
Yeah, basically, you can do anything to someone as long as they do the same thing to you first.
Yeah.
Which means if someone shoves you, you can shove them back, but you can't. If they pin you up against the wall, you can't hit them to get free.
Right.
Which was basically what
Yeah.
I was pinned up against the wall, like, and then like, fuck, this shit hurt. Let me go.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I get in trouble.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The self-defense laws in Korea are really strange. So if Jake came at me with a knife and tried to stab me, and then I hit the knife away, picked the knife up, and then stabbed him, I go to jail.
Wow.
Right?
But if you had a knife yourself and you tried to like, and
If we had a sword fight,
that's the same. Like if he comes running after you with a knife,
Yeah.
and for some reason you have a gun and you shoot him in the foot,
yes,
you go to jail.
I'm in trouble. Right. The self-defense laws in Korea are really, really dumb. There are a lot of laws like that where Korea doesn't assign blame; they assign percentage blame.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so they do this with traffic laws as well. So if I'm driving and the person in front of me stops and I hit them, we all know I'm at fault, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Not in Korea. In Korea, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, this person stopped too fast, so you're 30% at fault, and they're 70% at fault. And like they assign these weird percentages to things, which is so mind-blowingly stupid that I still can't wrap my head around how it works or who even thought of it.
Well, thank God you don't drive.
I mean,
Didn't you just buy a car?
yeah, we did just buy a car. But I haven't driven it once. I didn't even want to get the car because, right, like anytime I'm going somewhere, I'm planning to drink. So like,
You're not driving home.
yeah, right. Like, what the fuck's the point of this? Right?
Yeah, like that kind of rubs back to the like whole convenience thing.
Mm.
Like here in Korea, you can literally just go on an app and you will find someone that will come, pick up, like get you,
Yeah.
drive your car home,
Yes.
and then
Really?
you will just
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, this is
It's
amazing.
basically a taxi driver, just he drives your car.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what they do is they have like a taxi will come with two drivers, and then one guy will drive your car home, and the taxi driver will take you
How does
home.
the insurance on that work? What if he crashes your car or something?
It works the same as if I borrowed a car, right? Like it's still on your insurance, right? But
I
yeah,
guess that's the risk you're taking if you need someone to drive your car, right?
yeah, basically. But actually, I don't know. I assume
Actually, I think the car insurance here is more similar to the one we have in Norway, where
it might be to the individual.
it's actually the car that is insured, and
The
then
car is
insurance for multiple drivers.
Interesting.
Let's see, yeah. And I assume that like these companies have their own particular carve outs in the insurance stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, they'll drive your car home so that you don't have to like go back to wherever you were partying last night.
Countless times I've had to do Uber or Lyft, or
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm too drunk to drive. I guess I'm getting my car tomorrow.
Yeah, right. And so I mean, you basically pay double because you're paying for two taxi drivers. right?
No,
But
like-
even
like,
time into the
yeah,
distance, but
at least my experience, like, it's not even that. Like,
is it not?
no, I've had people come with, like, okay, he is 2 subway stations away. So he's just gonna take the subway, come pick up your car,
Really?
drive you home, and it costs like 1.5 times what it costs to take a taxi home.
That's awesome, right?
It's fucking amazing.
So that's there are so many things in Korea that are just convenient. And this is, by the way, this is the most obvious business opportunity in the world. So if any of you out there are in America and thinking to yourself, hey, how can I become a fucking billionaire? Here's your answer. So many people have to go get their car the next day. Well, what if we made a taxi service that would just take your car home for you, right? Like, oh, that's brilliant, right? There are a lot of things like that that just kind of make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't happen anywhere except here.
Yeah, which is crazy. Another thing that I love about Korea is you can drink anywhere.
That's right. Yeah, you can. It's. I keep calling it an open carry lobby.
Yeah.
When you say that, people think of gun.
Yeah,
But,
well, that's not where you're from. You can just have a beer on the street, and not only that, but they encourage it, right? They have the little tables out there in front of the convenience store,
yeah.
and it's like, no, we want you to stay here because then you'll buy more beer. You just set up shop in front, talk with your friends, play cards, do whatever the fuck you want. Have a D&D game right here in front of us. We don't care. Doesn't matter.
As long as you sit and you drink.
You sit here, you keep drinking, you buy snacks, and
Like, for sure, like even the convenience store along Han River, like in the middle of a park, which is supposed to be child friendly and everything,
Sure.
they sell beer.
oh yeah, not just beer, right? They sell hard liquor.
Yeah,
So
they sell everything.
if you want to, you can just walk into a 7-Eleven, buy a bottle of whiskey, step outside and just right like
Chug that thing.
you
Yeah.
can. Inadvisable even to me, but
It happens.
you can, yeah, right? You can. But people do that with Soju all the time, right? And that's part of the thing.
One of my favorite memories was 2010 was the World Cup,
Mm,
and Korea was like pretty good that year.
Yeah.
And so I was living in Busan, and they had like these giant projector screens on the beach playing the game. I think they were playing like Greece or something. It doesn't matter. But they won, but everybody's out on the beach drinking beer. I'm like, this is like such a joyous occasion. Like, this is beautiful. And I was like, this wouldn't even happen. That's the other thing too. Like the things that people care about here, like everybody cares about. Like I remember when Korea advanced to like the elimination round in the World Cup, we couldn't go anywhere because Starbucks, well, every bar was full, so we had to go back to our apartment and watch it. But then when they scored a goal, literally, we had our window open. The entire city erupts.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you would never hear that in America. Even if you were in Dallas, Texas, during the Super Bowl where the Cowboys are playing, you wouldn't get that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Remind me of those good old days.
I think like the level of patriotism that is here is quite impressive, actually.
Yeah.
They are so proud of their own country.
Yeah, people think Americans are patriotic.
No,
Visit
go to Korea.
Visit Korea. Patriotism is alive and well here. Not as many flags though.
No.
America is very, very flag heavy.
Especially with flags for things that don't exist anymore, like the South.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Don't tread
okay,
on
so,
I
Don't tread on me.
so
We need to have discussions about freedoms and the injustice of the 14th Amendment, but that's for another day.
So what I was gonna say is like, so for most guys here, like they're watching the stream and everything, like they know I used to live with a Korean girl in Norway.
Sure.
And for our balcony door, we had on the window curtain, one side curtain. Where the actual door is, giant fucking Korean flag.
Awesome. I love it. There's definitely there's a lot more of a Korean brotherhood kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like if two Koreans run into each other in Norway and they're like, oh, okay, well, you're Korean too. Like, I'll do anything to help you out.
Yeah.
Whereas like Americans don't really have that. We're
So independent. We're like, yeah, I gotta take care of
we're
myself.
nicer to each other than the Europeans are.
Yeah.
But
But actually,
Yeah.
that is quite funny with, especially like with places like Norway where no one expects people to really know anything about Korea.
Sure.
Like one of my favorite things to do is to freak the shit out of Koreans in Oslo by
Yeah.
talking to them in Korean.
Yeah.
I think first they freak out.
Yeah.
And then they get so excited
Oh yeah.
because there's nothing cooler than a fucking Norwegian person
Yeah.
talking to you in fluent Korean.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
I freaked the fuck out of my donut shop lady in Texas. I went in there to go get some donuts and I just rocked up speaking Korean to her. And she was like, where are the cameras? Is this a fucking prank show? What is this? Am I being punked right now? That's what you Americans like to do, right? Am I being punked?
Yeah, but I even noticed that like whenever I'm flying to Korea, like
Yeah.
most of the airlines will have like a half Korean, half European crew.
Yeah.
Because I'm flying
Yeah.
from Europe. Whenever I take like first of all, like I fly Lufthansa, so they're German or Korean.
Sure.
I don't speak German. I'm white, and they first assume I'm German.
Mm.
And the crew there, actually, even the Korean crew speaks German.
Right.
And then like they will start to me in German,
And
and I will just go back to them in Korean. Like,
Korean,
what are you
Korean,
saying?
baby. Listen, I don't
speak German.
I'll speak your gobbledygook. Give me some Korean.
And the thing is, they freak out, so they don't actually hear what you're telling them in
Yes.
Korean.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because it's just such a shock.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's quite funny.
Yeah, I've had similar experiences as well. Now, other things. What are so we've talked about all the amazing things about Korea. What are some of the costs? What are some of the negatives about living here?
I mean, the language barrier, obviously, you have to learn a new language. Like, I'm still, like, the most basic things. Like, literally today, I was buying beer at the GS and I paid for it. And I'm like, did it work? And she said something in Korean. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you can go. She literally said that in English, like, no, you're good. You can go. I'm like, I feel like such a fucking idiot. Because, like, sometimes they'll just say something like, oh, you're good, or thank you, or whatever. And I just don't know even the basics. So, like, learning a language obviously is a big barrier.
Yeah, language barrier definitely exists.
And Korean can be very complicated for a lot of foreign speakers.
Yeah, definitely. Like some parts of it, like I still don't do my taxes here. I let Lady North take care of that shit because, like,
but like just like Koreans can use a double negative to say something's awesome.
Yes,
and that is so confusing.
Yes, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if they say something like, "Oh, that's not great," or whatever, and it's like, "That's amazing," right?
Well, or like, just like, except for one, there is nothing.
What do you mean?
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
Those things is kind of like really confusing in the beginning because you're just not used to it.
Right.
I think I've heard the worst thing I've heard is like
it's like Highlander though, right? Like there can be only one.
Yeah, but no.
Highlander Bakiopa.
And then like I've heard like even worse than that, like double, triple negatives that just means something is freaking amazing.
That is tricky.
Yeah, it gets really fucking confusing sometimes.
The language is definitely difficult, and the verbs can have like, look, Spanish is complicated, right? Spanish has something like 35 or 40 different possible verb endings. Yeah. It's really, really difficult. Korean has 600. So Spanish, take a back seat, champ.
Yeah.
Korean is really, really difficult. And the way that you say something can completely change the meaning. And I don't just mean tonality, because that's the same in every language. But even saying something like, "Oh, kumekchuga mashichi." Kumekchuga mashichi. Kumekchuga mashichi. Like it totally changes the, like, all three of those sentences had completely different meanings. Yeah. Even though it was just saying like
the same thing.
That beer is delicious, right? Like completely different meanings, completely different feelings. And Koreans are really, really tuned in to all of those things. So as a language learner, yeah, so as a language learner, you're going to fuck it up all the time. And they just won't understand what you're saying, even though the words were exactly correct.
No, like the thing is, they will understand. Like you can. That's the nice thing about Korean too. That like you can really fuck up, but because of the context, they will understand what you're saying.
I had the exact opposite
For me,
experience.
it's actually been very decent in that part. Like, yeah, sure. Like the nuances of the language is really hard. Like,
Sure.
whenever you speak in English and you try to make a nuanced point by like the way you use tonality,
Sure, yeah.
like stuff like that. That part I still can't do in Korean.
Yeah.
But for context part, I think Korean is really easy to understand because the context tells everything.
I feel like one of the issues in Korea, and this has changed recently, like over the last 4 or 5 years or so, but Koreans have never been used to non-Koreans learning their language.
Yeah.
And so they're not used to people speaking it poorly. Whereas like English, we hear people speak English poorly all the fucking time, right? Even native speakers. I'm from Texas. I can tell you a thing or two about people speaking English poorly. But we're just so used to it that we can understand incorrect and bad English like nothing. But Koreans just aren't used to it. They're used to speaking Korean with Koreans, and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas like English doesn't have that, because who are the English speakers, right? Like you, I mean, technically, right? But
technically I'm fluent in English.
yes, right.
English is my third language.
Right, exactly. And if you use an adverb incorrectly, or you use an adjective where you should use an adverb or something like that, or your noun verb agreement isn't exactly perfect, like we all totally understand you.
Yeah.
But in Korean, they actually might not. They might just be like, no, what you just said is fucking gobbledygook. It means nothing. You try again, and then you just change one letter, and they're like, oh, now I get it. Why didn't you say that? Right? The number of times that I've hopped into a taxi and told them where to go,
And you ended up completely different.
no, I told them where to go, and then they were like,
What?
What? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. And then I show it to them, and they're like, "Oh!" And they repeat back the exact same words to me, like, "Ah, okay, now I get it." Because also the accent can make a big difference, right? Because even if you say something like, Hongdae guys, you say, right? Like if you have like a fake like American accent, be like,
What the
fuck? Right? Like they won't hear you, they won't understand. And so you have to actually be quite good at it, which you are, which is why you haven't had much issue, right? Also, it definitely helps that you speak a lot of other languages. A lot of people coming to Korea will not already be fucking polyglots like yourself. Just like, well, yeah, I only speak like 12 or 13 languages. Yeah, shut up, Europe. Get out of here. You drunk.
No, actually, piggybacking off of what Paul said, like for me, listening and reading was a lot easier, despite my limited vocabulary.
Sure.
Because I'll look at it, right?
Yeah.
I know like 3 or 4 words in this paragraph, but I know exactly what it means.
Yeah.
I know those 4 words.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
because the context has so much to say. But
yeah,
that's also a thing that was in the beginning was really hard to get used to, is that the Koreans, they will completely obliterate the objective or the subjective
Oh,
or the person.
yeah, they just delete it.
Yeah.
They just
And
delete it.
just like, yeah, we'll do this.
Yeah.
We're doing what?
Right. And it's amazing because there are languages that do that, right? Like romantic languages often do that. Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, things like that. They will often leave off the subject.
That's the thing.
But the
Like,
verbs tell you who the subject is.
yeah.
So it works, but Korean doesn't have that. They're just like, what? You don't need to know who.
The thing that I always hear with students is like they forget the A. It's like teacher, I want a taco. They just
Oh,
say,
yeah.
teacher, I want taco. And it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't, there's like no
Yeah.
Korean word for like a or the,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
we don't have articles in Korean.
Yeah.
And so in my first year, I wanted to learn all the different parts of speech, like the names for each part of speech in Korean, so that I could explain it to the students better, right? And so I learned things like, verb, noun, adjective, adverb, things like that. And I learned the word for article. And whenever I said it to anybody, it's kwansa, right? Kwansa. Yeah. And the Kwanzaa. See, and they don't know it because this word is literally made for foreign languages. It just doesn't exist in Korean, right? You got 명사, 동사, 부사, 관사. 관사는 한국어에 없지. We just don't have articles in Korean, and so it doesn't make sense to Korean people. Like, well, why do you need that word? It's kind of like the English word do, right? Like, the fuck does the English word do? Do. What does it do? It does nothing, right? It's nothing. Do you have any more beer? You have any more beer? The word does nothing.
The word "do" in English does something.
When it's used as an active verb, but when it's used in a sentence like that, like do you have this, or something like that, it does nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like in French, they have like pas, right? Je ne sais pas, right? Like, why do you have that word? I don't know. It's just there. What is it? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Why do you have it? Why do you use it? What the fuck do you mean? Right?
So that we can speak.
Yeah, right. Like, it's just what you say. It's a negative marker. Okay, I guess.
Another thing that I actually like, let's jump away from the language and
Sure. Yeah.
let's look into the people. Like,
Okay.
because what I've experienced here in Korea, it goes the same for Southern Europe. For Northern Europe, it's not a thing. It's how open they are, like how welcoming, and like once you get into in the beginning it can feel really weird because if you meet Koreans that don't speak English, they will not be very friendly.
Yeah.
The second you meet Koreans that speak English,
Or if you speak Korean.
Yeah.
Or at least
you will meet like you speak Korean means you can say 안녕하세요, 감격할 모시. Exactly. As long as you are there, like you try,
they love
you are meeting these friendliest people in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's freaking amazing. Like you will feel so well taken care of because everyone will try to help you.
Absolutely.
I had the same thing happen to me. Like the GS25 down my street.
Yeah.
I just walk in. It's an older man and an older lady.
Yeah.
And I tried. I was like, oh, I'm gonna so. And from then on out, it was like they are my grandparents. They're just like, oh, like tell me about your girlfriend. Like, just tell me something. Like, I want to know everything about you. To the point where I'm like, all right, I'm walking home from school, and the GS25 truck comes up to like unload.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you guys are older people. I'll help you out. Don't give me money. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to help you because it's so open you guys are to me for no reason at all, just to be a nice person.
Yeah.
I help them out. And they're like, all right, we're going to give you a discount on the next 2 things you buy here. I don't care. It's 1 + 1.
I'll have all the beer.
Not that far, but yeah.
Like the second, like the first time I was out in Korea, we met this Korean bartender. She spoke okay English, and then we went. Like the bar closed early. It was during Chuseok, the first time I was here. So like bar closed early. We're gonna go to this chicken place.
Sure.
There's this old lady, probably mid-70s, working here alone. And we started using the Korean just translate. And we started like, okay, you clearly survived the Korean War, everything, right? Like we start okay. We want to know, like, how was it?
Yeah. Tell us your story.
Yeah, tell us your story. Like, okay, I've owned this chicken store for 37 years. In 37 years, I haven't had a single day of vacation. I worked every day for 37 years. And
Fuck that shit. Open up your own Diddy Unjun taxi service in America.
yeah, but like, and we started talking like, then like whenever I go by like the area where that store is,
Yeah.
I will still go by it every time.
Yeah.
Until this day, she gives me free chicken.
Nice. Nice.
Like, geez, that's a sweet lady. Like, this is like a 3 a.m.
Yeah.
We're drunk as shit, and it's just amazing. Like, they're so friendly out here, and you feel so well taken care of.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like today or yesterday, I was so I hurt my shoulder recently, and I'm like, oh, I need to probably get an MRI or maybe get surgery. So I went to the hospital. I don't speak enough Korean to explain the situation, and the people at the desk don't speak enough English. So we're literally both on Papago, which is like a translation app. We're sitting there for 15 minutes going back and forth and back and forth. But the fact that they were willing to sit there and help me out, the guy was like, well, I can give you a shot, but if you don't have insurance, it's going to cost you double. I was like, oh, well, thank you for letting me know. I'll just come back. Thank you for
But you know, the double here is like, it's going to cost like $5.
Yeah.
It was more expensive than that. It was a lot, but I was like, he saved me a lot of money, and I was like, oh, thank you. You're like, I appreciate your help.
Yeah,
But like in America, nobody would have time for that shit. Like if somebody spoke Spanish or something, like learn English, idiot. You know?
Yeah.
The same happened to me last year. So I got food poisoning.
Mm.
I went out to Chuncheon and had takagi,
Mm.
and out of 3 people,
Mm.
I got food poisoning. The 2 others are fine.
Okay.
We go back into Seoul. That was the week before Halloween last year.
Sure.
Where I was just dead.
Yeah, I remember.
I went down to like the another thing in Korea is that if you search like for like internal medicines,
Yeah.
or you will find probably 7, 10 different doctors' offices around you.
Yeah.
Specialized in exactly
In your neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah. Went there like, hey, this is like doesn't speak a word English.
Yeah.
Had like the nurse like translate for me. You sure, Jake?
Yeah. No, I was asking if I could say. She said no. Okay. We had a story.
Anyway, like go there, like get my.
After we turn the camera off, I want to hear the story. Like, now I'm curious.
So I go there, like I don't get hospitalized, but I get these like I get drips for my stomach. I lie there in like 5 days per week. I go there and I have to have these drips and become human again.
Sure.
And then I was like, okay, what is this shit gonna cost me? Like my travel insurance is gonna cover it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, but what is this gonna cost? $350.
Yeah.
And I just pay it and like laugh.
Yeah.
Like,
What is he last enriched? No,
No, but the thing is, like even in Norway, that would probably have cost me the same shit.
Sure.
And the thing is, that type of care doesn't exist in Norway.
right.
And I'm pretty sure it doesn't do so in America either. Like,
If
yeah, if you can pay for it, it exists everywhere. But the difference is that if you can pay, and this is just completely common sense. That's the difference, right?
Yeah. I had a similar experience my first year in Korea. I went snowboarding and fell down and very obviously got a concussion, right? And I went into work the next day and my boss was like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, man. I got a concussion over the weekend when I went snowboarding. And he's like, what the fuck? No, I'm taking you to the hospital right now. I was like, no hospitals. I can't afford that shit. He's like, look, I'll pay for it. And then like, we'll take it out of your paycheck later. Like, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, well, I guess this is indentured servitude, right? Like, I'm not going to get a paycheck for the next year. And we went in, they did like, they did an MRI, they did an X-ray, they checked everything. And at the end, they were like, okay, but like, you don't have insurance yet. So, it's pretty expensive, but this is the bill. And they handed it to me. It was $150. And I was like, oh shit. Oh yeah, here, done.
I'm gonna go get another concussion.
Do that again, right? Yeah, it's fun, right? No, it's just wild because you couldn't see a doctor for $150 in America without insurance, right? Like you can't do any of that. And so the fact that the health insurance here is so cheap and it actually works, but even without the health insurance, everything is still just reasonable. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I can pay this. You will not die in medical debt in Korea. It's wild.
And that was the other thing. Like, the 2 times I've gotten sick at my job, usually, all right, you get sick in America, you say, all right, call them up. Hey, boss,
Yeah.
I'm sick. All right, don't come to work. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you Tuesday.
Right? Today, or at my job, I call my boss. I'm like, boss, I'm sick. I can't come to work. She goes, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. We're gonna go to the hospital together.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, I don't need to go to the hospital. It's just like a cold. Like, I'll be fine. I'll be okay tomorrow. No, no, no. We're going to the hospital right now. We'll get you drugged up. Don't worry about it. Like, it'll be $5.
Actually, the difference is in Norway, they wouldn't do anything remotely like that. It's just, okay, how many days do you need?
Even better.
You would get paid while being at home.
Yeah. So I think that the reason for that is not so much because they care, more because in Korea, you don't call in sick, right? You don't, unless you are dying, you do not call in sick. Do you ever call in sick to your job?
I'm sick. I can't.
Oh, I'm so sick. I can't work today. One time, right? One time ever, right? Whereas like in America, maybe like once a month or so, you just like, you're just like, I'm hungover as fuck. So I call my boss. I'm like, I'm feeling under the weather today. Or it's fine to stay home, right? So in Korea, you just don't call in sick, and so they assume that if you're calling in sick, it's because you're on death's door, and that's just how it works here. I mean, even during COVID, where Koreans were like, "Oh, COVID is so scary. COVID is the end of the world. Oh my God, it's awful." But you have to go to work. Dude, you can't work remotely. Are you fucking stupid? You have to come to work. Yes, ride the subway with everybody else, right? Like it's just so deeply ingrained that work is the thing that you must do all the time, no matter what.
You know, they went out of their way. When I got COVID the first time, I only had it once, but when I did get COVID, they went out of their way. I was like, look, I don't have a webcam on my laptop, so I can't work.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're gonna buy a laptop, give you the laptop, and you're gonna, here's all of the work for the next 3 days. You're working from home.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, I guess. Like, you
Well,
gotta give me the laptop back at the end, but like, yeah, I don't care. You're working.
That's
pretty good.
Right? No, that's Korea.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it sounds like kind of the difference for me personally, like since I've run my own company and shit,
Yeah.
is like I haven't had a sick day in 3 years.
Yeah.
And the typical reason is like I will tell like, oh fuck, I have like 40 fever, like 102 fever.
Yeah.
Okay, today I'll be working. I am fucking sick, but so I'll work whenever I feel like I have the energy to do it.
Yeah. Well, and that's different when you run your own
Yeah,
thing,
like
right?
for me, it's like that work ethic. You kind of have to have it to do it.
Of course. I haven't missed a single live stream. And we've been doing this for about a year and a half now.
Yeah,
Even when I was on my honeymoon in Mexico last summer, we still had a live stream. When my parents came to visit for my wedding and I was out with them, we still had a live stream, like every single week, no matter what. Because you're right, like, when you're running your own business,
2 weeks straight.
82 weeks straight, haven't missed one yet. Yeah, because that's like when you're running your own thing, right? When it's your baby, it makes a difference. And plus, you don't get paid if you don't work,
Exactly.
right? Which is a big difference as well. So one of the interesting things about Korean culture is this concept of presenteeism that I think it might also exist in Japan, but it's very, very strong here. They have an old traditional part of the culture that's kind of dying off now, which is that you can never leave until your boss leaves. And
I've heard that's the thing here.
it is in some places it's starting to die off.
Yeah.
But Korea in general doesn't care what you do when you're there. You just have to be there.
Yeah.
Because the person who is there at the company the most is the hardest worker. Even if, and this is very common, they show up hungover as fuck and they're just like passed out at their desk for a few hours. And they're like, okay, cool, that's fine. You're here. You're here. And that's all that matters. You're here because if you're here, then the assumption is you're doing work. And this is a big cultural difference because in America, we're very much on board with the like, oh no, if you got all your work done, like everything's finished, there's nothing else for you to do. Fucking go home, right? We don't want you to stay. We also have the like, okay, even if you're still working, it's 5 o'clock. Go home.
Yeah, because fuck no, we're not paying overtime.
Well, I mean, not only if you're salaried, you're not getting overtime anyway.
Yeah, actually in Norway you still do.
You really?
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Basically in Norway, if you pass 8 hours, you are entitled to 40% overtime.
Interesting.
And if you pass 10.5 hours, you're entitled to 100% overtime.
Wow.
What kind of fucking hentai shit do you have on your phone over there?
Actually, it's probably a EDM mix.
Oh,
It's
okay.
9-4.
I just looked over there and I was like, I don't know what to put down. Typical boy shit you're watching.
Well, you want to pull up my YouTube all day. All the VTubers.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay, tentacle boy.
Yeah, no, that totally adds up. Like for example, for me, all right. So my first class is 3:30.
Yeah.
Right. I don't really.
Oh,
need to
then
play.
I've already done home.
Yeah. I mean, my job is supposed to be 3 to 10.
Sure.
My first class is 3:30. I get there at 3:20, 3:25.
Yeah.
Right. I don't really need to prep. I already have done the lesson 20 times. So I'm like, all right. I go in. Students all love me. Like most of the school is there because they love my class.
Sure.
Right. But every week, without fail, my boss comes, Jake, I really need you to get there at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want me to go and just sleep at the desk
I don't
for 30 minutes.
As long as you're there.
As long as you're there, because that 30 minutes you're not there, even if it's to do nothing,
Yes.
it means the world to them.
Yes, it absolutely does. I used to when I was working at the place where like I'd set you up when I was working with Clara, I needed to be there at 2 for a class that started at 3:30. And I would come in, I would bring my lunch in, I would set up shop in my room, eat lunch, put on YouTube, just hang the fuck out for an hour and a half because that's just the thing that you need to do. You have to be there for no reason. You just have to be there. I think that a lot of it comes from the idea of like, we paid you for your time, not for your work.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't paid you for results. And so this is one of the biggest differences between being like a consultant or being an employee, especially in Korea. Because if we're paying a consultant, we want results. If we're paying an employee, we want your time.
That is a really interesting thing because in Norway, it came this new set of laws. Consultants and like rented workforce are to be treated exactly the same
Wow.
as hired people.
Fuck that.
It's really interesting.
Fuck that. I'm out. I'm already out. Like, I'm so out.
Which means like for us, like they can't put higher expectations on their consultants than they can do on their permanent hires.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. I thought you meant they had to treat you as poorly as they treated their regular employees.
Yeah, basically.
I'm so out.
But then again, we make 4 times as much, so who cares?
Kind of, but also like there's a reason that you chose to be a consultant instead, and it's not just the money, right? Like
No,
like whenever I pay my video editors, I don't ask him how long it took to make the video. I don't give a shit. I just pay him for the video. You know, like I'm paying for an end product, a result.
oh yeah, but that's different. Like I go by hourly rate, so it doesn't matter how much long it takes.
I see. So you're doing hourly.
Yeah.
I don't like hourly. I don't like working on shit like that.
It does when like whenever you work on like teams that want someone to come in and be there
Right.
40 hours a week,
It's-
every week.
There you go. Right. Like if you want to pay for my time, for my presence, then we can do it that way. All right, good. I see that we're at 11 o'clock. And also,
We're about out of beer.
yeah, more importantly, we are out of beer.
I think I have one of these left, but that's about it. So let's
I'm out of beer.
Questions.
And
wrap
so
it up and head out.
yeah, we're gonna wrap it up like Black Street, no diggity, no doubt. You gotta bag it up. And with all of that, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream now because I need more beer. And this has been truly a ton of fun. Are you also out?
She's finally out.
Johnny is also out, and that is an absolute tragedy that we cannot allow to persist. So, as fun as this has been, we are going to continue it. You aren't. Do you know why you aren't? Because you aren't in Korea yet. And if you aren't in Korea yet, you need to hurry up and get the fuck over here. And for those of you who are here, if you're making up some excuses like, oh, but I'm engaged on this weekend, oh, I'm visiting family, or some other bullshit instead of partying with us, you're missing out too. That's almost as bad as being stuck in the fucking Amazon right now. You need to be over here partying with us. So,
Saturday, let's go. Saturday night. If you're not here, I don't know what's wrong.
Let's
go.
What day is today? Oh, Thursday.
Thursday.
Let's 2 more days. Let's go.
Thursday, right? It's a Thursday party.
It
if you
is
will.
a Thursday.
Today is actually a Thursday party.
I see what you did there.
Thank
Wow.
you, sir.
I know we cheers, but I'm fucking empty.
That still doesn't mean we're gonna end up at Thursday party.
I don't even know where there is a Thursday party.
Right next
Right around the corner.
I tell you right now, you've been there.
After we're ending it,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up with this.
Copyright.
Drop the first. I love it. Listen, guys, if you want to learn more about moving to Korea, or if you want to learn more about how to improve your dating life, I know that today's stream had basically nothing to do with dating, but if you want to learn more about how to improve your dating life, if you just want to improve your life overall, you want to learn how to run your own business, you want to figure out how to start up that taxi company that I told you to do in America, any of that stuff, what you need to do right now is go over to realjacknorth.com. You can sign up for a free one-on-one call with me where I will help you create a personalized strategy for probably your dating life, but also if there's just something else that you want to shoot the shit with me about, or you want to ask some advice from an old man who's been through the fucking paces, then go over there, realjacknorth.com, sign up for your free call with me today, and I will help you the same way that I've helped Paul, the same way that I've helped Taylor, the same way that I've helped Jake, and thousands of other men at this point. So, if you want to stop sucking at life and start actually leveling up and enjoying everything, realjacknorth.com, sign up for your free call, and I am getting the fuck out of here to go buy more beer. Later!
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Oh, hit like and subscribe. You guys know that, right? You've done it. You've already done it, right? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, they already hit like. I just now looked down there. They already hit the thumbs up. They already did it. Later.